Okay, here we go. See if this whole thing works. Okay. One sunny day, a light-hearted fool strolled along a hilly path whistling a merry tune. A long wooden pole was slung over his shoulder, and attached to it was a cloth bundle which carried his life's possessions. "What a marvelous afternoon!" he exclaimed to no one in particular, pausing to appreciate the lovely countryside. Soon the trees parted, and the path led to a small clearing, ending abruptly at the edge of a treacherous cliff. The fool was undaunted and kept at his swift pace, steadily approaching the sheer drop. "Your folly is most curious," the voice boomed. "Have you no fear of death?" Just as one leg dangled over the side of the cliff, the fool hesitated. "Who dares to interrupt my errand?" he demanded impatiently. Oh, looks like I have to click for it to move to the next page. I don't know what any of these are. Okay. But I can click them, and that's very helpful. Boom. "I dare," the bright yellow sun replied. "Well then," the fool considered, "I seek the 14 treasures of the world, and I am told that a man who strays from his path is lost." "That may well be true," spoke the sun, "but I fear that you are already lost. Take this map as my gift. It will aid you in your quest." In a flash of light an aged parchment appeared at his feet. "At last, a path to follow," cried the fool, happily taking the map. "Perhaps," the sun murmured, "yet things are never as simple as they may seem." But the fool had already run back down the hill and did not hear the sun's parting words. Okay. Further along, the fool came to a wooden wheel mounted atop an old tree stump. "Wheel of Fortune," he exclaimed. "Perhaps it will tell me of the 14 treasures." He gave the wheel a spin, and after many long turns it came to rest on a set of jumbled letters. Unfortunately, the fool knew of such magic and was unable to decipher its meaning. Okay, card game. Okay. Justice, strength, death. He's just gonna destroy me, isn't he? Yeah, I would. Okay. Oh, okay, so death and the devil is something. Dark pear. I feel like I need to be writing this down. Mortal pear, the chariot, the hermit. Death is apparently a high ranking card. Action beats world. Council pair, Judgment and the Hierophant. Astral pair, Mortal pair. Hermit and Strength, Mortal pair. I should hope. Okay. $99. Bad. Royal pair again. Okay. So take this. Beats Sun, but he doesn't get the astral pair. Okay. Yay! I won apparently, but that's good. Continuing along the road, he passed under a stone archway and encountered 6 young warriors waving their staffs triumphantly. Is there a cause for celebration? Asked the fool. Yes, indeed, the leader proclaimed. This day the 4 kings have declared a truce to the horrible war that has ravaged our land, and it is said that between the 4, the land's lost treasures will be restored. Spread the news and be joyful. The fool found it hard to be joyful, though, for he had yet to uncover even one of the 14 treasures. There is no escape from the Temple of Thoth. Here's the maps. Whee! As long as I move toward whatever the dead end is, it's just going to take me right to the exits, maybe? This way. Wrap back around. I can't wrap back around. Okay. Okay, so I got it back. Missed a turn. And dragged it that way again. Okay, so I go back here, up here, here, up here. That's the turn I missed. I stick to this way. Very carefully. Boom. He traveled further up the road and saw 3 pyramids to the west. The center one inscribed with the letter H. He stared at his parchment in dismay. It showed the picture of a stone bridge crossing a pond. I may be a fool, the fool mumbled, but either this map is in error or the land is. He decided to pack the confusing parchment in his knapsack. Very soon he came to an aged stone monument set upon a carved pedestal. It was a model of the world. At last, the fool exclaimed, running over to the globe and searching it carefully. There must be a clue to the 14 treasures here somewhere. Yes! the world suddenly replied. Praise be, he cried, leaping for joy. Please, I am in haste. What can you tell me? Yes, the world repeated. The fool scratched his head in bewilderment. Say yes, yet nothing more. Yes, was its final word on the matter. Okay. Man, there are so many countries, thought the fool. But the game is from the 80s, so maybe some of the countries have changed. Probably not very many of them, though. Well, Russia, Ireland, Norway, Germany, Iceland, Yugoslavia, Albania, Spain, England, Netherlands. Just sort of look left to right, see if anything shows up. Sweden, Poland, Italy. With the proper word search, they'll all be connected at the end anyway. That's how those usually work. Should be able to find stuff still. Romania. Okay. Portugal. And then just go here. Austria. Greece. Finland. Turkey. Czechoslovakia. That was a country once. I wonder when you make something like this, if you actually think about the fact that countries disappear from time to time. Or change. I didn't think the game would go on that long. They'd just make something new a little while later. Switzerland. Okay. That's it. Followed the cobblestone road and discovered that it ended at the entrance to a maze of tall hedges. I would not go in there if I were you, warned a woman tending to a garden of 9 star-shaped flowers. No one has ever found their way out. Well, the fool pondered, since you are not me, then it must mean that I should go in there. That's not how that works. He disappeared into the maze and very quickly found his way to the exit. Beware of the wandering winds. Okay, mouse. Can I use the arrow? No, arrow keys don't work. Okay. Oh, this is going to take a year. That's just cheating. Let's just sort of fling things around and see what sticks. Fill in the edges of the map here. Do they send random locations, or are they more fixed teleporters? Oh, random. That's random. That's not good. Probably set up not to send you too close to the exit, because that wouldn't be right. We'd want to have somebody just sort of randomly make it, and then probably not going to get any corridors wider than one. Oh, maybe you are. Everything should be pretty fixed. would always maybe send me further back along the path. Oof. This area is not filled in yet. Let's go up here. Okay. Whoops. Okay. That and then that way too. Good to know. Okay, now I need to go down. That's unfortunate. Okay. Okay, so I can't easily get back there. So I must be supposed to go this way. Yep. Okay. Fastest way to where I want to get. Down here. Let's go somewhere that's not filled in yet. Whoops. Hoping there'd be a wall there. Things go a little faster. For the most part, if I just drag and drop, I should make it through okay. Probably could have gone around there, but there might also just be another wind thing there. It seems like he wants to include multiple paths. Okay. So yeah, I kind of have to go up around here and there, through here. Okay. Whoops. Up here. Boom. Like this. Now I have to go around this guy. Oops. But getting more of a hang of it here. I'll figure it out. Yeah. It's not going to be any path that's wider than 1 pixel. No big empty room. So I go like that. Probably can't go right there, but I'm going to risk it right now. This one like that. And then that would be the exit. And this sent me all the way back to the beginning. Of course it did. time there. Yeesh. Around this one, I went like this before, and then down like this, that, like that, and I would not go in there if I were you, warned an old man tending to a garden of 10 star-shaped flowers. No one has ever found their way out. I've just done so from the other side, the fool boasted. It cannot be, the old man snorted, for if you had, none of the land's lost treasures would be found. Not wishing to argue the point, the fool continued onward. I did the world already. Heartened, the fool wandered toward a small cave in the side of a sloping hill. As he peered into the darkness, a fierce lion leapt out of the shadows and pinned him to the ground. Stop, my pet, a voice commanded, and out stepped a beautiful woman in a white silk robe. I am Strength. Why have you come here? As she petted her lion, the fool eagerly stated the purpose of his errand. Ah, but such a task would take an era, the woman advised. Then you cannot help me, the fool replied sadly. I have, insisted Strength. It is you who do not listen very well. We have a puzzle. Okay. Can I do more than one? I can do more than one. Perfect. I'm going to sort of build boxes and work with them. You go there. You have a stick. Have the moon. Moon. Okay. Oh, there's more than one. Okay. You go over there. You go here. And you go here. Okay. So is that all of that? Or is that? Okay. Where's a little piece of his stick here? Is that it? No. There it is. He's got a tree next to him. That guy. That guy. Then. Okay. And there's like a little porch here. Doesn't quite work. But no. Here's a border. Makes things a little easier. So do like that. You go there. You go there. Nope. There we go. Okay. A little fuzzy tree. Then, perfect. Wandering away, the fool returned to the task of inspecting the sun's parchment. Sadly, he could not make any sense out of it. Further along, he met a page who stood in the middle of the road, admiring his polished wooden walking stick. It is indeed a fine staff, the fool complimented. I am lost, and I desire your assistance. Do you know how to read a map? Fear not, answered the page, not taking his eyes off the walking stick. I am lost, also, and I seek the pyramids. The pyramids? Why, they are to the south, the fool pointed out. See? The middle one is inscribed with the letter E. Well, so it is, the page realized, dashing off in that direction. Naturally, this did not help the fool. Oh. Find the hidden letters below and enter them into the blank boxes. Oh. To the east. Just then a great white horse galloped up to him, carrying a fully armored knight. Quickly, have you seen a page come this way? Yes, he went to the south to seek the pyramids, the fool replied. The south? The knight puzzled. The pyramids are to the east of us. See, the middle one is inscribed with the letter X. The fool saw that this was so. Where then the south is now the east. I met him further back. That is good. The queen shall reward you, shouted the knight as he galloped away. Okay, we have a cryptogram. W M E. Now I gotta click each one. Ah. Got a page in my travels, and he was seeking the pyramids. That makes sense. On the way, he picked a bright yellow sunflower and presented it to the queen. It is beautiful, she whispered, stroking its spreading petals. Yet it will not bring back our most treasured possession. We did not want war, but when the swords stole our royal wand, we had no choice but to retaliate. I thought that the war was over, the fool pondered. Surely your royal wand will be returned to you in due course. I would like to believe your kind words, she murmured softly, but I fear for the worst. We are a pleasant country folk, not warriors, and even as we speak, the other kingdoms betray our trust. If only my son the page would come home, my heart would be lightened. The fool considered this for a moment. Well, he began, I met a page in my travels, and he was seeking the pyramid. I told this to the knight who was searching for him. Praise be, the queen cried out. You have brought me much happiness. Please take this magic word, clack, and may it bring you equal happiness. Eagerly the fool wrote down the magic word and skipped out of the castle merrily. I assume I have to make a word square. Okay. Okay, the C can't move. The C has to be there, which means those are the only words I can see that you can make with a C in the middle. Here we go. Narrow path led him to a grassy plain, and there he saw an immense wooden staff mounted upon a stone pedestal, engraved with the letter S. Ha! The fool shouted. The royal wand has been returned. You're mistaken, little one, the statue replied solemnly. Here I have stood for many generations. I am the symbol of his lordship the king. Oh my, the fool stammered, following the path once again. This must mean that the royal wand is even larger yet. He could not imagine such a thing. I did the Maze of Hedges. What's next? Temperance. The fool continued on his way and came to a stone bridge that crossed a crystal clear pond. Floating over the water was an angel who held a jeweled chalice. I'm Temperance. Why have you come to this place? Again the fool stated the purpose of his errand. All things in moderation, the angel commented. You are too eager and have missed much already. You must take a sip of my mystical waters. Thank you, but I am not thirsty, he answered courteously. Can you tell me anything else? A sip is all you need, spoke Temperance somberly. The fool found it rather odd that the three who had offered their advice so freely had nothing important to tell him. 5th anniversary. Pseudo Wudo. Runs. First. Paper. 25th. 3rd. 17th. I don't. How do you spell this? A red urn, apparently. Beyond the pyramids stood a quaint peasant village, and here the fool met a jubilant party of townsfolk gathered in the street. In the middle of the crowd was a beautiful wedding canopy attached to 4 oaken staffs. Underneath, a man was searching through the presents frantically. Red urn, my red urn, have you seen it? He asked the perplexed fool. A red urn, he puzzled. Is not red a gaudy color for an urn, and is not an urn for a funeral? It is our custom at such an affair, the man sniffed. There's to be a wedding between our kingdoms, and everything must be just so. Now, have you seen it? The fool assured the man that he had not, and went on his way. Vegetables. Okay, the fool paused to admire the vegetables. Cabbage, tomato, celery, parsnips, onions. They aren't going backwards too, they just seem to be going forwards and down, so that'll help. I feel like I should have seen more by now. Shouldn't go 4 lines without seeing one going across. Rhubarb. That's a thing. Eggplant. Squash. Cauliflower. Scallion. Radish. 12 to go. Okay. Carrot. Leek. Asparagus. Potato. Now it's stuck in your head. Okay. Parsley. 7 to go. Nuck. That's not one. Stoa. Salsa. Beans. Is that a vegetable? I guess, technically. Turnips. Turnip head. Broccoli. Everybody likes broccoli. Flawless Joe. Artichoke. 3 to go. You can a cucumber. Lettuce and lentil. Yay. Nearby, a group of 5 boys were fighting with slender hickory staffs. Bad yam! Bad yam! They shrieked back and forth. Why are you fighting over something of so little value? The fool wondered. He sold us a crate of bad yams, one cried out, and we want our money back. But you left them in the sun, another yelled back. I'll not reimburse you for your stupidity. Not wishing to get involved, the fool made his way past the crowd. Press all the buttons in the correct order to reveal 2 words. That didn't do anything. NW, so that's an end to the beginning. Flip the words? Okay, so. Okay, so that does flip them. Okay, so I want to add G and flip. The new GNU. That makes sense. Okay. Near a stone wall was a burly fellow who guarded 9 tall fighting staffs. Could you tell me if this is the correct way to the Queen's palace? Inquired the fool. "Nu, gnu," was his pert reply. "I beg your pardon," the fool had to ask. "Nu, nu," he repeated. "An old new is not new, and only a new new is true." The fool nodded agreeably and quickly moved on. Reasonable. SREJ. Opal, TNKF. So, pick the letters from each one. Okay. The clue shown in the picture to find the correct letters in the black boxes. So, I have to make a word. What words can I make from these letters? Yeah, answer anywhere. I can click anything that if I scroll over will show, like in the other one. Because the words I can see offhand. Something like that. It doesn't seem right. You can make words like rot. Rot. Eat. Can't really make any complicated ones. Clues in the picture. There's a rat. There's a rat, a flag, a guy. He's a bum. No. Rat. It's gotta be an actual word. Okay. Why? Why, rat? Why? Use the clues shown in the picture to find the correct letters. Okay. Oh. It's ivy. Okay. Rat, ivy. The rat. These things are on ivy, and that makes sense. Up watchtower, a lone sentry gazed longingly at the creeping vines that ran up the walls of a nearby granite castle. "Excuse me," the fool shouted as politely as he could. "Is that the castle of the Queen?" "The Queen?" he groaned. "Rat ivy. Rat ivy?" the fool echoed. "Yes, indeed," he sighed, leaning against his 2 wooden staffs. "If rats were ivy, then they wouldn't steal into the royal kitchen. If they didn't steal into the royal kitchen, then they wouldn't eat the royal cheese. And if they didn't eat the royal cheese, then I wouldn't have to set the royal rat traps day in and day out. Alas, only little lambs eat ivy." "I see," the fool mumbled, walking over to the palace. "What a very strange kingdom this is." Okay, we have wands. Hanged man. Shrugging his shoulders, he crossed the bridge and discovered a man hanging upside down from a tree by 1 foot. "Does that not hurt?" the fool wondered. "I am a hanged man," said the hanging man. "That is most obvious," the fool retorted. "What is obvious to some is not obvious to all," said the upside down man. "Consider that the top is at the bottom of the upper half." The fool was weary of such confusing talk and did not wish to consider this at all. Okay, the puzzle. I like these. So we've got a border now, though, so that makes things a little easier. And there's a fish hopping out of the little border. Let's go more like that. that doesn't work. There's a little speck of light in there. Works. Maybe something like that. Okay. Connect the sun. We've got the water line there, which is hurting my eyes a little bit. A little better. Not a ton. Okay, and then I feel like I missed a bit. Like this is too far over, and then I need this. Okay. That means that he's in the right place. He'll be there, there. They are chasing a fish of some kind. Looks like. Okay. Oh no! Be more careful about that. There we go. Okay. He came to the shores of another great ocean and met a page who held an engraved copper cup. Just as the fool was about to say hello, a tiny green fish jumped out of the cup and fell to the ground, wiggling its way back to the sea. Help me, the page screamed. My KD is getting away. The fool removed his pointed hat and after a few tries captured the slippery fish within it. Here's your fish, he offered. I did not see your KD. Ah, but they are one and the same, the page told him happily. Now I owe you a favor. Seek she who holds two swords. Taking the water out of his hat, the fool departed. Well, that will not be an easy task, he reflected. Few people in these parts carry even a single sword. Fish. Fish. A sardine is a fish. A goldfish is a fish. I do that one for the halibut. No ship. Further along the shore, a knight atop his grey horse stared off into the still waters. The ocean is calm, yet no ship approaches, he uttered gravely. That is good, is it not? Asked the fool, walking closer. No, the warrior replied. The wands had promised to return our most treasured possession, and have not done so. The queen must be told. I will wait here until sunset, no longer. The fool promised to deliver the message. Okay, well, let's get the hard stuff out of the way. So that's going to be the G is supposed to be a D. E is supposed to be a D. Away I go. Nope, definitely a D. Alas, I do. Okay. Alas, I do, he sighed. No ship has landed upon your shore. He crossed a wooden bridge, spanning a dark moat, and quietly entered a castle of solemn beauty. There he found the queen, sitting beside the shimmering waters of a majestic fountain. "Do you bring word of our treasure?" he asked eagerly. "Alas, I do," he sighed. "Your knight says that no ship has landed upon your shore." "So they break their agreement," the queen hissed through clenched teeth. "What can be expected from such faithless ones? I fear that a holy war is the only way to scourge this evil from the land. Those who do not believe in the words of truth shall live to rue the consequences. Please, I must have some time alone. My heart is not yet hardened to the grim task that lies ahead. Take the magic word Yanal for your troubles and go in peace." Okay, so the Queen of Cups also gives me a word square. I is fixed, so win, tie, owl, no. I, old, no. OT isn't going to get me anything, so win, lie, die, owl, wit. I don't think there's anything I can make that has a T in the middle of it, though, so can't do lit or wit. But he's going to have to be at the beginning. Or the end. Why is not a word. Yay. 2 oil and okay. The fool departed from the royal palace and came to another fountain at the edge of the kingdom. It was an immense ivory chalice engraved with the letter T, and from it issued 4 glittering streams of water. "I will not be fooled a third time," declared the fool. "This is the symbol of his lordship the king, and nothing more." Hierophant. Keeping to the path, the fool located a hidden fortress, perched precariously atop a lonely crag. It was here that he encountered the mighty Hierophant. "I know of your quest," spoke the priest suspiciously. "4 others have come before you." "I seek no harm to anyone," the fool assured him. "But harm has already been done. The 4 kingdoms are on the verge of another war. The countryside is ravaged by famine, and even as I speak, the spectre of death roams the land." He could not imagine how he had been the cause of such things. "Nonetheless," the priest continued, "I am compelled to help you in this matter, little good it may do you. Take this and be gone." And with a flash of lightning, the fool appeared back on the mountain trail. Etched into the rock at his feet were the numbers 15 and 24 and 2. Numbers. There are 13 of you. Very unlucky. Mr. Baggins will make it 14. Okay, so 2 and 12. 1 and 19. 5. And 17. That would be 6. 13. Walking across a grassy knoll, he discovered a young man sitting under a spreading oak tree. Before him were 3 fine goblets, and emerging from a small cloud, a pale hand offered him a fourth. Why do you refuse such gifts? The fool had to ask. Why should I be satisfied with less than I am seeking? The boy grumbled. You do not look like one who is seeking anything. No, you are wrong. I seek the sacred 6 and 13. This cloud offers me trifles instead, so here I will sit until it gives me what I desire. Okay, so fool standing there, cups in the air. And like that. Okay, this is doable. Looks like the word 15, maybe the word 20. Get the rest of these cups together, that'll help maybe. I wager they are the sky above the main image. And then the numbers are in the bottom area. Go down a little bit. There we go. That's something to work with at least. Yeah, scarf on. So is the fool standing behind him here? Like that. That, and then fool looking like a jerk there. Okay. So it's 15. Here's his stick. Here's the back leg and the foreleg of the other guy. 15, 2, Twenty. Continuing on his way, the fool came to a barren field pitted with jagged rocks. I can see them, a man shouted, spinning about in a daze. They are just out of my reach. I do not see anything, the fool remarked. You must, the man pleaded. I see 7 cups of treasure in a vile black cloud. And wait, I can see something else. The numbers 15 and 2 and 20. There are clouds in the sky, the fool observed, but no numbers or cups. On, he cried, it's your fault. You have no faith. You are blind like all the rest. And the man ran off, laughing maniacally. Okay. How do things fit? Okay. So this is an 8. And then this has to be... There's a 14 in here. And a 15. This doesn't work. This doesn't work at all. So... Gotta be Eames. There's a 15. A 14. Okay. Everything else just kind of slots in. And Tetris. Beyond the field stood a woman in a long black cloak. Behind her were 2 chalices filled with a bubbling liquid, and before her were 3 others, their contents spilled on the ground. You knocked over 3 of your cups, the fool felt obliged to mention. Quiet Thorman snapped, it will disturb the enchantment. The fool watched as the boiling liquid seeped into the cold earth. To his dismay, a cloud of bluish-green smoke curled upward and formed the numbers 14 and 8 and 15. Wishing to see what might happen next, the fool departed in a hurry. Okay. So, I'm going to be making the word 6. Oh, Jesus. Let's figure out what each one does. 1 adds 2 E's to the end. Adds TEE to the end. Adds SI to the beginning and an N to the end. Adds an X to the beginning. Adds an T to the beginning. Flips everything backwards. Adds hyphens. Well, that's not right. Okay, so let's add an E and flip it. Let's not flip it. Alt. So E. An E. Flip it. And add an E. It looks like I need to add. I need to flip it before I add the second T. So I just add that. It adds teen to the end. P-E-E. This just adds E-E. So I'll do that one first. And then flip it. So 6. Looks like it'll be the last, and that'll turn it into so that 7 turns all the T's into dashes. Flip it, and then dashes. And that, flip it, dashes. Okay, that, flip it, dashes. Not 4. Okay, so that, flip it, dashes 3. That, flip it, dashes 16. Okay. You. Okay. Perfect. 16, 16. Heading up a steep mountain path, he discovered 8 silver goblets abandoned on a rock ledge. Looking about, he spotted a man in a scarlet robe scaling a distant peak. "I've forgotten your cups," the fool cried out. "No, I choose to leave them behind," he shouted back. "I've grown weary of this kingdom. Blind faith is no replacement for true knowledge. I have the mystical 16 and 16. That is all I desire." We've got a few left. Okay, let's take a little break here.